Raise your hand if you want a Jaguar sedan. Not many of you? Okay, admittedly, the XF is probably not going to be your first choice if you were shopping the British brand, but there is something sneaky good going on with this top-of-the-line R-Dynamic model that I think you should know. If you've been following my Jaguar videos of late, then you already know that by 2025, the British automaker plans on starting over, kicking their supercharged engines and other fossil fuel burners to the curb, paving the way for an electric future. And even if you have been paying attention, you may have missed that this XF, a midsize sedan, is the final four-door car Jaguar offers, with the XE and XJ having already departed. Yep, SUVs and EVs are the name of the game for the Leaper these days, but the slow-selling XF, when we're talking less than 100 per month here, has been updated for 2021 with simplified choices. Now just one engine with two tunes in the four-door body style. High-performance variants, wagons, and diesels have left the building. But I'm going to give you some reasons why this updated XF, particularly this R-Dynamic model, shouldn't completely be ignored. First off, with a starting MSRP of $45,145 including destination, this is one of the least expensive ways to get into a Jaguar. Secondly, just like the best-selling F-Pace, the XF has been given the once-over this year with a thoroughly updated cabin almost identical to that found in the SUV. And lastly, despite that a four-cylinder turbo is the only engine left on the menu, this XF P300 with the optional dynamic handling package achieves sleeper status with its sinewy back-road moves. As it sits, this car is priced at $62,695. That gets you the 296 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque 2-liter turbo, all-wheel drive, 20-inch wheels, British racing green paint, and just about every option Jaguar offers. But it's the $1,350 dynamic handling package you've got to have in order to get that friskiness you want. Now keep in mind, this is an understated sedan with a priority on quiet comfort. But with these configurable adaptive dampers that monitor body movements 100 times per second, a double wishbone front suspension, and a torque vectoring all-wheel drive system, there is a lovably soft ride here and increased agility that makes for a very pleasurable driving experience. Now, none of this is exactly new for 2021, as you might remember this model as the former 30T300 Sport. But this spec is new for me, as my last XF test was of a supercharged V6, and though this car is more engaging than I had imagined, I really do miss that engine. This car has really confounded me this week because at first I didn't feel like it met my criteria as to what a Jaguar should truly be. Sexy, ultra-luxurious, and performance-oriented. But as the week has worn on and the roads have opened up, I'm realizing that there is a stealthy handling machine in here that just needs some coaxing to come out. And even without summer use tires, this XF is truly glued to the road, leaning on its adaptive dynamics and torque vectoring all-wheel drive system to stay hooked up at all times, and a willing participant in some very emphatic back road driving. But you have got to use these paddles in order to keep the revs up. Otherwise, the turbo simply takes too long to build momentum. And speaking of revs, they really do hang once you let off the throttle, which can be a little disconcerting during high-performance driving. So, the XF may not stimulate the senses in all of the ways I feel like a Jaguar should, but there is a sports sedan in here for those willing to explore its capabilities. The cabin looks much richer now, with improved materials and greater attention to detail. This color combo really works for me, and the wood is beautiful. The sumptuously comfortable sports seats offer adjustable side bolsters for road-hugging maneuvers, and there's a new rotary controller for the drive settings. Displays and graphics look modern and fresh. There's a digital rear-view mirror, soft closed doors, a nice head-up display, and I absolutely love the updated activity key. As a runner, I can lock the keys in the car and wear this watch instead, which can handle all of the fob's operations. The rear seats are suitably spacious for two more, with some sculpting to hold passengers in place and a couple of USB-C ports. Likewise, the trunk is cut wide and spacious enough for longer getaways.
This new screen is called Pivi Pro, and you've seen it in my last 2 Jaguar videos. It's the much improved upon successor to that old in-control touch system, which was behind the 8-ball from the very beginning. It uses its own dedicated power source now for faster startups, and it's laid out more intuitively, so it's easier to find what it is you're looking for. And in joining its European rivals, you can now ask it simple questions. Hey Jaguar. Tune to MLB Network Radio.
Tuning to MLB Network Radio.
So it's very helpful, but you can see that it's not as quick and the breadth of services are not here as in the new Mercedes S-Class I just tested. Also, you should note that wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are a no-go.
There is a cool slot for your phone so you can tether inside the center console, while the wireless charger is up here and includes a signal booster. The camera views are awesome, and you can spin them around to see exactly what you want. The Navi mapping is satellite-based and is also displayed in front of the driver, if so desired, and the optional Meridian surround sound system elevates sound clarity, though I'd love to see a couple of off-screen audio control knobs. Also, I don't love the action of the steering wheel buttons. The presses are inconsistent. And as I stated in my F-Pace review, the new shifter is clumsy when shifting from reverse into drive. As for driver assistance, adaptive cruise control is the highlight, and it's a $1,200 option. There's also a gesture-controlled roof blind when you really want to show off. The features are strong, and there's a chill vibe coming from this car that I really like. And with a 488-mile driving range on 25 mpg, it's a solid touring car. For about $8,000 less than a comparable Mercedes E-Class, and this one has more exclusivity, the XF is worth a look. And hey, you can't get 20-inch wheels or green paint on the Benz. For TestDriveNow.com, I'm Steve Hammis.